Okay, I wanted to jump back in and do a little more sorcery. It's been a minute, and I am excited to try to figure out how how much longer we can survive after going days without eating and only finding some milk and bread on the last move. So right now we have agreed to help the leader of this town find their daughter, who apparently has been kidnapped and taken to a demon lord who lives in a mine. Okay, so let's go forward, and we need to move towards a crack in the ground. A crack in the ground. Okay. You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Sivan has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself. So we can try and escape. We can comment that they will pay me richly for this, or we can just take the adventure gracefully. Let's take the adventure. I feel like our time. I feel like our time's pretty. It's pretty. Up until this point, it's gonna probably be pretty short. So let's just try to enjoy the time while we have it. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares, as they start to lower you down. From your shoulder, Jan murmurs, "We're in trouble now." He shivers. "You don't realize you can't use magic with me around, and I'm not going anywhere." You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You're blind, helpless, and trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Sivans shouts something down to you. Let's feel around on the ground. Maybe they threw some kind of weapon or something down to help me. You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It is a dry wood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. "Tinderbox," calls the voice. Let's feel around for it. I feel like they're trying to help me, so... Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. Okay. Let's light this torch. I feel like it's not going to help to curse the people at the top of this shaft who obviously seem to be trying to help me in some way. You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame. Okay. So you can see now you are in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. Through an uneven rock fall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. So we can go left, we can go right, but we have the option to listen by the rocks. Let's listen by the rocks. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. The Sivan girl, perhaps. She came in this way, but then the cave-in blocked off her path. You'll have to find another way to reach her. Okay, so we can go left or right. I think it's just a random... It's just a matter of random choice. I'm probably going to go left. You go left and creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining for the sound of approaching threat. But all you can hear is Jan's quiet whimpering. So Jan is actually some kind of small flying creature that we picked up a few turns before we went into this cave. So they seem to be some kind of like small pixie of some kind. The passage rises up a gentle incline. At the top, a thick crystal seam glitters in the torchlight, and the tunnel ends in a T-junction. Okay, so looks like we have another opportunity to go left or right. It lets us also go back, which is cool, where we can look at the crystal. I say we keep going. This crystal is interesting though. Let's look at the crystal. The seam seems to be made of pure diamond. It was no doubt in it was no doubt in quest of this that these tunnels were carved. But why is no one mining here now? Probably something down here in this cave that we don't want to run into, I imagine. I don't really have anything to dig the crystal out. Let's keep moving. I don't want to spend too much time here. Let's so we went left. I'm assuming we heard the whimpering on the other side of a wall, so if we went left we should probably go right. You turn right. Here the cave system widens. Pendulous stalactites hang from the ceiling as if about to fall and skewer you into place. You skirt between them, following a thin, safe path until a side passage opens on the left. I say we probably keep going straight on. You push on. The passageway slopes down a short way. Then a passageway appears on your right. Two stones are stacked up on top of one another against the wall here. Two stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. Let's examine these stones. There's nothing special about the two stones except that they happen to be on top of one another. Let's see. So we just went straight forward. You skirt between. Okay. So we went forward. We probably need to go right. So we're circling around. We might be making like a half circle right now. You take the right-hand tunnel. Then you see a spot of sunlight up ahead and rush forward to find yourself back beneath the crack in the ceiling through which you came. Interesting. So we seem to be in some kind of maze. So let's go straight. Maybe we'll take the right. It seems like we're back where the crystal seam was. Let's try to dig out the crystal since we're here. You try to pry some diamonds loose from the incredible seam in the rock, but your sword is not up to task, and you'd only make it blunt. You could perhaps return with a proper pick, but only if you can escape these tunnels first. Okay, so I think we went left to right. Let's go left this time. You take the left passage. You walk down the passage for several minutes, then slip on some dirt, and the ground beneath you, your feet gives way. You plunge into a hidden pit and land onto something soft. Okay, that's not good. Let's look around. Of course, I knew we were going to fall into something. Not yet counting your luck, you look around, and sure enough, you are out of the frying pan and into the reptile den. You're in a pit of snakes. Of course. Okay, let's see if we can let's see. I don't know if we can use magic right now. Maybe. Trying to remember how we access the. See if we can use magic. You begin to ready a spell when Jan tugs at your arm. You can't, he hisses. I told you, you can't do magic when I'm around. Cursing him, you try to think of other options and fast. Okay, let's pray to the spirit. You mutter a quick prayer to the whale, your spirit, but you do not feel its presence near. Of course, you have called in such help already, and it will not assist you again. You swing your torch trying to stave off the creatures. I could try to fight these snakes. There seems to be a lot of snakes of varying size too. I see some little ones, and then I see what looks like snakes that could be like baby dragons. Okay. Let's try to climb out. The only way out is to climb. Leaving your torch by the foot of the wall, you begin the ascent. You get halfway when one of the snakes bites the torch, killing itself by extinguishing the flame. In the darkness, the others begin to slither up after you, until the wall itself is alive. Oh, I don't think we made it. What's our fate? You are strangled to death by 100 snakes. Your adventure is at an end. That was a really rough run. We're gonna have to start anew. No decision is permanent. Click the rewind button at any time if you want to scroll back and try a different path. Okay. So let's I say we had a pretty rough run. Let's see if we can let's maybe try a new one. I feel like it would be somewhat insincere to rewind when there's so many more options available to us to start again and explore this first part of the game. So we took a path from the main camp, and I mean, ever since we got out of this gate, we were just in trouble. We lost everything like within the first few turns up here when we basically got jumped by some fishermen. So let's see. Let's do I reset to the prologue? Let's see. What's the easiest path here? How do we get back to the maybe we do restart to the prologue. Okay. Let's do that. Are you sure you wish to restart the game from the beginning? All progress will be lost. Yeah, let's do it. I say that's fair. Okay. The Shamatanti Hills. I think we're going to stay with this character. Okay. I'll run through the prologue again for the sake of just for the sake of the video. You have walked the wilds of Kakabad through Kar and the spiteful Blocklands, all the way into Mampang. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods, and now it is here. So that this Crown of Kings is something that we seem to be very interested in obtaining. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Shalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Like before, I'm probably just gonna take the crown. I feel like it's just too much of a good deal. Your destiny awaits. With the crown in your hands, you will be as powerful as Shalana. The goblins are arming, the giants are waking, and the birdmen carving cruel daggers from stone. War will come, but you will prevent it. But then the image of the crown begins to flicker. You rush forwards and startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Okay. Part 1, the Shamatanti Hills. Okay, I think we can... This is more of like the tutorial phase here with the starting in our home. So we can skip this and just probably jump right out of the gate. It is sunrise. I've got my pen here to write down some of these spells. It is sunrise. You dress, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. Okay, let's pray for luck. Before you leave, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning, it has the form of a panther, but what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. Okay, let's go. Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Alright, let's go to the settlement. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamatanti wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Let's greet them. You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they believe you to be cursed. A man is waiting on the path to the Kantapani gate, the final doorway between Analan and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster warriors. He holds out his hand. I still think the illustrations in this are awesome. Let's greet the sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You are almost ready, my lady, he says. I have for you a gift from the king. 24 gold pieces. It is all we can spare at this time. He holds out a pouch. I think like before, I'm going to take half, just because I don't want to take all their gold if that's all they can spare. And I think 12 gold coins is pretty suitable. I think we have opportunities to make more gold when we, get out in the real world. Assuming we don't get it all taken. So I'm going to take half. Take the bag, count out half the coins, and return the rest. The king will need them should I fail, you declare. You choose a harder path, but I respect you for it, the Sightmaster replies. You must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. And should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. And he points with his staff towards the training ground. Alright, let's go get the spellbook. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in the different locations in the hills and beyond. I'm absolutely going to take the spellbook. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use this? He asks. I do understand. I'm going to just say yes. The mage nods. Good. He scratches absently at his ears. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, though the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know what. Okay. Research magic using the spellbook button on the map. So the spellbook, as someone suggested, they said I should write down the spells because jumping through the spellbook is very, it can be hard to remember which spells to use sometimes. And there is a lot of spells. There's 48 spells, so I find that the Zap and Hot are pretty memorable. Let's see. Some of these are very situational. One of the ones that I wanted to use... So, DOP is for opening doors. Okay. And... let's see. Sus is interesting. A lot of these have very... I mean, like, the name is, like, almost literally... almost like self-describing, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna does not mean I'm gonna remember. Oh, I should have used how before when I was in the cavern. I think that would have helped with trying to not fall into a giant pit of snakes. Safest path. Okay, let's see if we can get one more spell just for the roster. Let's see. Okay. Fall was another one that I should have used. Oh. Interesting. Maybe that wouldn't have helped me in the snake pit, but it would have helped me in another earlier situation. Okay, protects it from fall. We'll come back in here and probably write down some more spells when we find them necessary. So let's see. Kind of just want to go straight to the door. All right, let's go to the training grounds. Looks like the site master wants to. He wants to fight us. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his shaft in leather. Okay, let's ready the sword. To begin, the sergeant says, we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Choose your attack power by dragging your character sideways to defend, stay fully left. So, the combat in this is very simple, but let's see. We're going to defend, so not making any movement here. So when you defend, you can prevent from taking more damage. If you go to attack someone, but they attack using more power, they will deal damage to you. But for every attack that you do, it drains stamina. So sometimes it's better to just defend and take the one point of stamina damage. The Site Master is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Site Master Sergeant chooses a strong attack. You turn it away with minimum impact, because we defended. My next attack will be weak, he declares. You will be able to overpower me by playing a stronger attack. Be sure your attack is stronger. So let's do a stronger attack here. I'm assuming they're probably going to go for like something under a 1. Let's go with a full-fledged 4. Okay, cool. You make a medium attack, overpowering the Site Master Sergeant, who tries a low, careful attack. Overpowering a weak attack is easy, so you did well to win without using too much power. My next attack will be of medium strength, he declares, but you will be able to overpower me. So they're going to go for more of a medium attack. I'm just going to still go for something kind of full bore. I'm going to go for a 5. Cool, that's it. So it seems very simple. Some of these enemies, definitely, they can be difficult to fight. You perform a medium play, overpowering the Site Master Sergeant again. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. Okay, let's continue. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says breathlessly. Good. Another round. I think it's enough training. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish a bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where there is space for a true match. I've got enough, I think I've got enough trouble in my hands going forward. Let's buy some rations. Small traders in the settlement supply the Site Master warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbreads and cheese. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says. Okay, let's buy 2 rations. You hand over your coins and the man places 2 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but is not necessary. I think I went like 3 or 4 days on my first run without eating anything. So you can go a while without eating. I honestly don't know how long you can go for. I'll try my best to eat something every day if I can help it. Alright, let's get out of here. It's probably not the first time I'll be leaving these gates. Just going one direction. If you know what I mean. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you, but you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the DOP spell to be crafted. And he stands back. Or let's cast a spell. So Spells are always just 3 letters. So to open the doors is DOP. Open locks and doors. Requires 1 stamina. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not opened since our last champion was lost. Are they? Maybe they're referring to me. The sergeant says, I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. Okay. That is not, absolutely does not concern me. And the sergeant nods. Very well. Alright, let's go through these gates. Together you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. Okay, I understand. I will not wish you a safe journey to Kar, for the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs, as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Alright, enough talking. I think I know what lies ahead. It's time to go. Without another word, you pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. Okay. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, let's enter Kakabad. The path winds through slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. Stupid creatures. They pose no threat, so you ignore them. Crows are probably not. I don't think they're that stupid. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shumatanti hills are infested with the pestilence of the Bachlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Just keep walking. It is not surprise. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here, but for the moment, you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. If this reaches 0, you'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained up to a maximum by eating rations or resting. Okay, so last run I took the north path through the Cantapani gate, or through these fields. So I say we go right to Cantapani. Let's take the Lowe's Rise. Another hour passes, and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. Let's check this village out. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few penned animals are thin and wizened like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There's nothing here to protect. Oh, interesting. We can actually go south. That's a tough choice. Looks like there is a path here to cut through these woods, and then there are mines down here to the south. The mines are probably pretty dangerous, but the shoreline might be interesting to travel. I kind of have like a... Anytime I see a village, red flags start to go up, but... Because nothing good ever seems to happen to me in these villages, but... Let's see, what should we avoid the village? Let's avoid the village. I feel like the village is probably trouble. I want to go down to these hills, which are probably also trouble. Perhaps it is the look of the crude huts and miserable fields either side, or perhaps it is simply a feeling in your gut. Either way, you leave the path and head off through the scrub, walking perhaps a mile or so out of your way to avoid the town. From the top of the rise, you get a good view of the land ahead, across the Simsosa River. All right, let's look. I want to kind of play this cautiously, so we're not just walking into something. The river cuts a slash across the land, protecting Cantapani from the dangers of the far bank. There is another village of rough huts on that side, and even from here you can see the sharp poles that spike from the earth between the buildings. A common sight in villages of headhunters. It is a place best avoided if you value your neck. Looking east, there is a glimmer of blue, the sea. Below the shorelines are the caves of Dadule, a place they say is haunted by spirits. Oh, fantastic. I bet there's gold in there. So, looks like there's some kind of village on the other side that looks dangerous. Okay. So, I'm assuming they're referring to... Maybe there's some kind of village in here? Maybe this is the one that they're talking about. Investigate the caves. These must be the haunted caves. I'm not opposed to just jumping right into the heat of it. I mean, I feel like haunted caves... It sounds interesting. Keep walking. You know... Can't make this too easy. Let's investigate the caves. I'm not trying to... I mean, I'm not expecting to live forever, you know? The cliffs of the Kakabat Sea are too intriguing. You have never before left Analan, and now the draw of this legendary spot is too strong. They say the first wizards grew from cracks in the rocks of these caves, and were tugged out by salamanders. They say the tunnels move as the moon moves. They say the wind plays a song as it blows past the entrances, and that the song will make anyone fall in love with you if you sing it. Interesting. So the choices here are, if even a fraction is true, almost like you're enticed. And the second option is, it is all nonsense, of course. I mean, I'll give him some credit, because it seems like the lore of this place, there is a lore. If even a fraction is true. If even a fraction is true, then who knows what you might find. You set off across the foothills and quickly reach the edge of the cliff. Below, sea spray pounds the beach, hundreds of feet down. The view into the distance goes on for ever and a day. Let's look out across the sea. Look for a way down. Let's try to look for a way down. But there are no cave mouths up here on the cliff top. You look about for an entrance and see nothing, except by the very edge of the cliff, a shallow lip of a scree, and beside it, a rock covered in strange markings. Let's examine this rock. We can look out to sea, look over the lip. I feel like this rock looks interesting. You squat down to clear moss away from the marked rock. It is inscribed with a riddle. This is the way that the sorcerer went, and this is the place called the Wizard's Descent. Forward he stepped to prove what he meant, then he fell, then he floated, and so did not repent. A flock of gulls spins in the sky above you, screaming and calling. Okay. So there's an opportunity to use a spell here, I think. Look about for clues. Look over the lip. Let's step over the lip. I think I've got a spell here to hopefully gives us the opportunity to use a spell or we're in trouble. Well then, you set off looking for adventure, and here one is, the Wizard's Descent. Will you take it? Yeah, let's jump off the cliff. I mean, I'm hoping it's not going to just be like, well, you know, you kind of stepped off. Let's step off the cliff. Hopefully it's like, do you want to use a spell now that you're falling? Murmuring a quick prayer to the fox, your spirit, you close your eyes and step forward. Once, twice, and then your heel slips, and then you are falling. Okay, we're falling right now. We're actively falling off a cliff, and we absolutely need to cast the fall spell. Okay. Oh no, come on. I need an A. Let's see what I want to push the O. Hold on, hold on. Let's see something. Can't do this to me this soon. Fall. Okay, I've got enough stamina. If I get murked this soon, I'm... Alright, let's see. Actually, hold on. I might go down pretty hard here. Let's check out the spells one more time. So, maybe it's a small F. Yeah. Float in air. Let's cast that, absolutely. Okay, so it was a lowercase f instead of a uppercase F. In the remaining moments, you cast the spell. As soon as you finish it, your fall slows, as though a hand has cupped you and is lowering you to the earth. You come to rest without incident on the grass. Ooh. Now you are in trouble. Halfway up and halfway down, you are on a ledge, and arms span wide with a drop down to the beating sea. There is no way back up. You have no choice but to follow the ledge and see where it leads. There is only one thing of note here, a glyph painted on the wall in a light brown paint. Yeah, let's read it. You peer at it. The color is old and faded, but it appears to be a P. You follow the ledge carefully around, hoping to find some way forward. A few yards later, you are spoilt by choice. There's not one cave mouth ahead of you, but two. Let's cast another spell, because I think there is a spell we can use to help us decide. Which would be how. Find safe passage. Let's see. So all these rocks are probably going to be like a heavy magic choice area here, I'm assuming. I am in a... I don't got a lot of stamina, though. You cast a spell and you feel a power entering your mind and feeling across the rock surface in front of you. After a while, it settles in the left cavern. Then it is gone, and you are alone once more. The smell of salt breeze emerges from the left-hand cave. Okay, let's look at the left cave. You peer into the darkness of the left cave. It seems to slope a little way downwards into the darkness, and the smell coming from it is salty and fresh. Perhaps it leads to the sea, or perhaps it drops into a flooded pool. By the cave mouth is a low boulder. A light whistling of wind comes from the right cave mouth. Let's try... I mean, it's saying the left hand... Let's check out this boulder. You pause to examine the boulder, but it appears to be just that, a small rock, about the size of your head, and roughly cubic in shape. 4 of its sides are covered in moss. Let's maybe sit on this boulder. I don't know why they're giving us... I need a moment to think. I need to sit down. You sit yourself down on the boulder and look out to sea. A moment later, you realize you will be sitting here for the rest of your life if you don't find a way to escape this ledge. The wind blows a little dust into the right-hand cave. Let's roll the boulder. The boulder looks not too heavy. You could probably roll it over, but which way? Let's do, moss free side upwards. Moss free side downwards. Let's do the moss free side downwards. I'm trying to see if maybe there's some kind of inscription, because we found a P on the rock before. You heave the boulder over until the moss-free side is downwards. It takes quite some effort, but then you notice that the face that is now uppermost has some small indentations in it. Let's examine the markings. You clear away the moss until you can see a few lines of a poem. 2 ways in. This cliff is cleft. Of guidance is our wizard bereft. One leads to safety, the other to death. When left with what's right, is it right? What is left? A small rodent scurries out of the left-hand cave and away through the grass. I imagine there's definitely signs of. If we go, I mean, assuming that there's a rodent in the left-hand cave, there's a smell of salty water in the left-hand cave. The spell we cast earlier tells me the left-hand cave is safer. But we're gonna choose a cave. Okay. We're gonna go through the left-hand cave. You entered the left-hand cave, moving slowly to let your eyes adjust to the dark. A few steps in, your fingers running across the wall feel the shape of a symbol carved into the rock. Let's examine it. You pause to examine the scratched mark on the wall. It seems to be a letter O. The cave continues into the hillside, then turns down a slope. The walls grow narrow on either side. You're squeezing yourself deeper and deeper into the ancient heart of Dadulay, with no certainty that you will ever re-emerge. Then an opening appears, and with it a gust of wind and a hint of a strange green light. Let me check something real quick. So PO was, we found a P earlier. I want to see if perhaps there is a spell with this name. Okay, these require some kind of item. P.O. Potent little spell, but once which calls for great mental concentration. The spell must be cast on small pebbles, which will then explode when thrown. These explosions produce great force as well as a loud bang. Okay. We'll keep that in mind since we seem to be in some kind of cave. Okay. Right. Alright, so we have no other choice but to go through. You squeeze through a narrow opening into a wider tunnel. Okay, seems like we successfully traversed down to the beach. The inside of this cave is lined with bright fluorescent streaks from some strange mineral on the wall. It glows a grisly green color, forming characters and slash marks. Without them, you would be lost in the dark. Then you see a patch of sunshine up ahead. I'm interested in these walls. Let's examine them. You pause a moment to look at the seams in the rock. The pattern does not seem random, but more like characters in some language you do not recognize, as if someone had written a message into the very rock itself. But if so, it is a message you cannot understand. You move towards the light, almost tripping over your feet in the dark, until you find yourself in a low chamber. Despite being closed off and sheltered from the wind, it is well lit by the sunlight streaming in. Through the narrow cave mouth, you see sand stretching down to a shoreline. I'm going to keep examining these walls. Looking closer at the walls here, you see a small patch of the fluorescent seam. But in the bright sunshine, its glow is lost, and it is just a dark, glassy mark. Directly below it is a small, flat stone. Looking closely at the walls, you see a small patch of the fluorescent seam. Okay, directly below is a small flat stone. Let's lift the stone. It's probably going to be another letter. You lift the stone, and underneath you see an inscription in the same hand as the others you have seen. This is the place where the sorcerer saw, something all others would simply ignore. It spoke to a darkness inside that he bore. So he stopped, and he gloomed, and made light come once more. You replace the stone. The noise of the waves echoes around the narrow chamber. Let's see. Let's see what letters it gives us. Let's see what spells we could maybe get. Okay. Interesting. It could be maybe sus. Okay. Let's go back. Let's see what spells we can cast. Usually just depending on the first letter, it might give us a clue. I see D. I also see S. Okay, hold on. So DOP is not an option. I don't know if this would be a trap though. I feel like POP would be something we can choose. Let's just pick F. Let's see what the third letter is. Fog. I don't think it would be fog. Yeah, D, S. Let's see what happens with H. Looks like hot's an option. How is also an option. Hot would be a fire spell. How would be a way to help us navigate. Let's see, DSH. DSH. I think F is the only. Okay, right, we already did that. Let's see what. Looks like we can cast the heating spell, but it's gonna take a lot of stamina if this works. I just don't know what a fire spell would do. I don't know if it might ignite the wall. Maybe we'll try how again. You cast this spell and a clear, calm sense forms in your mind that tells you that the exit's in front of you and there's no other way forward. Okay, hold on. Let's let me see something. Let's eat a ration. Okay. And we are going to try hot. Because I don't think there's anything else we can do. I hate to burn so much of my stamina, but nope. No, I wouldn't be dead. Let's see. Just run through these. Okay, wouldn't be fog. Fog. Let's try hot. Let's see what happens. Create a fireball. You raise the spell, crafting a fireball in your palm that fills a small room with light and a powerful heat. Water from the floor begins to steam, and tiny crystals in the rock wall glitter and gleam, but nothing more seems to happen. Perhaps there's nothing to be done here after all. Perhaps. Okay, let's leave the cave. I feel like we've spent enough time here. You head outside, blinking into the sunlight, through the narrow cave mouth and onto the shore of the Kakabad Sea. Okay. You walk out onto the sand to find you are not alone. A small sailboat is pulled up in the shallows, and beside it, a woman sits on a low stool with a strange flat loom on her lap. She was weaving a long belt of tightly woven, brightly colored cloth. Let's watch him work. I feel like anytime someone shows up, it's trouble. You hang back, watching her as she weaves. The work is swift but careful, with the strands of each color appearing to diverge, before being brought back in and knotted together. Threads disappear from the pattern, then explode into life further along. The object she is making is no wider than a belt, but it seems extremely long. Suddenly she stops and looks up. She has seen you. Greetings, she declares. It has been a long time since I had a visitor. Let's greet them. I feel like we're not in a position to be asking any questions. And we're in some kind of wizard cliff refuge. So we're in trouble if we piss off some kind of super sorceress. Greetings, you say, nodding your head to her. Let's ask them what they're doing. What are you doing here, you ask. I am weaving, she says, and waiting. The woman watches with great patience. Alright, let's ask who they are. There's like never a situation in this game where the situation is going to run casually. Let's ask who they are. Who are you, you ask. I have many names and faces, she smiles, but you have only one. Who are you? Oh, this is the tough question. Well, they never actually answered our question. We asked who they were, and they couldn't give us a straight answer. I feel like that's kind of. I feel like that's like. Maybe we'll be honest. We'll try to come at them, since they seem to be maybe. Well, they're trying to. Maybe they're being cautious. I'm just going to say I'm an adventurer from Anolin. I'm an adventurer from Anolin. She nods. Not yet, she answers simply. The adventure still lies ahead. Briefly, she glances down at her weaving, as if she could read the future in the thread. Let's ask them what they're waiting for. What are you waiting for? I am waiting, she replies, to ask a question. Are you ready now to answer it? This is like, this is kind of just like where the, this is just where it all starts to break down. It's gonna be like, they're gonna bring the scarf to life, and the scarf's gonna turn into a golem that tries to wrap around my legs as I try to run, and she's shooting lightning from her fingertips. Okay. Are you ready to answer? I'm just going to say yes. I'm trying to be cool with these people. Yes, you reply. Ask me your question. It is a simple matter. She holds up 2 strands. At the end of the belt, she was weaving. They have diverged just at the moment she ceased her work. It is about you. When the time comes to risk yourself for another, for no gain of your own, which you would rather choose? Which would you rather choose? The way of danger or the way of the coward? I have looked, but I cannot decide. Let's ask the question. I'll answer, you tell her. She waits for you to speak. Obviously the way of danger. I mean, I feel like the whole point of why we're out here is we're kind of risking our life. And searching for adventure and trying to make things exciting. So let's take the way of danger. Just hope they don't turn into some kind of crazy enemy. The way of danger. I wish to live and enjoy all the thrills of living. She claps her hands. Wonderful. The woman gathers up her loom under one arm and steps back into her boat. You have everything you need, she declares. Now you must simply leave this place and return to where you should be. The land of Dadule is not meant to be lived in. I cannot climb the cliff. I'm not going to ask him for favors. She nods. I cannot climb the cliff, she nods. If you have found your way to me, then you have learnt how you must return. And then she reaches up to her head and pulls out a single golden strand of hair, which she gives to you. You will need this for your spell of returning. Then with a breathed word, her boat creeps out into the waves. The sails fill and her song is lost on the wind. Okay, let's move by these cliffs. So now you are trapped, or are you? Okay, let's examine this hair. The hair is just a single strand, as long as your arm, and so fine and golden it is almost invisible against the waves. The wind threatens to snatch it from you. The waves lap gently at the shore, but you are not fooled. Must be some way to turn this into a rope. I mean, Z is always an option, but it seems really dangerous. Treat with extreme caution. Maybe it's, wall? Oof, I am just I'm just really stuck down here in this cave. This beach shore. Okay, hold on. Maybe we'll call out to them. Help me, you call. Don't leave me. The hair between your fingers tugs and quivers as if trying to leap away in the wind. It tells you to be swift and take action before it is too late. What magic would it be? Let's see. Perhaps there is a spell that would save you from this place. But as you prepare your mind, you already sense that the stars here are most strangely aligned. Okay, this could be... Yes, okay. Maybe how? Okay, so... Let's eat this other ration, because I'm running kind of low on the on stamina. Okay, let's see what spells it offers us. Might help us make a decision. Ooh, okay, peas. P's and R's? P, R, and T. Alright, let's see what those are. P, R's, and T's. Honestly, I really don't know. It's kind of like got myself into a one-way situation here. PRT. PRT, okay, hold on. Let's check these out again. You know, I bet there was something back there in that wall. PRT. PRT. I don't see any other letters. PRT. One last look here, and then we got to make a choice. So, PRT. I don't think I have any spells that start with that. Do I just make something up? Maybe there's some spells that aren't in the book. course there's Zed, but I don't think there's really much I can do. Let's try something random. Maybe P-O-P? P-O... What would the last letter be? Seems like there was... Because we found P-O... P-O something. Because we found those letters along the way. We just didn't get the last letter. It wouldn't be pop. Or maybe it would be pop. Let's see what it does. Oh no. You attempt to raise a spell that does not exist and you suffer the harsh consequences the magic collapses around you. The wind finally gets the better of your grip and the long hair is whipped from your grasp and away, and with it, magic leaves you. You sit by the water's edge, watching the waves creep closer. You'll never now learn the true secret of Dadulay. Let's see. You drowned in the rising tide. Hold on one second. No decision is permanent. I'm going to take a step back on this one. Let's see. How far back can we go? Okay. I want to see something. Let's go back to the ledge. I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I think I actually am. Nothing's too sacred. Let's do it. Do you wish to rewind the story back to the ledge? Yeah, let's go back to the ledge. I want to check something here. I want to check the right-hand path. Okay. So let's examine the glyph. We found the P. We're going to look at the left cave again. Examine the boulder. Let's roll this boulder over, and we're going to roll the moss-free side upwards, which should reveal... You heave the boulder over until the... Okay, it takes some strength to do... Okay. It has achieved anything, it's not clear what. Okay, let's roll it over again. Leave the boulder over until the moss-free side is downward. It takes quite some effort, but then you notice that the face that is now uppermost has some small indentations on it. Okay, I rolled it the wrong way. Okay, so this was the poem. Let's look at the right cave. Look into the right cave, you see little except a faint and distant glow. Let's choose the right cave, but maybe don't go all the way into it. Obviously there's more glowing going on in the right cave, but maybe the other letters in here. You enter the right-hand cave, moving slowly to let your eyes adjust to the dark. A few steps in, your fingers running across the wall feel the shape of a symbol carved into the rock. You pause to examine the scratched mark on the wall. It seems to be a letter A. The cave continues into the hillside and turns down a slope. The walls grow narrow on either side. You are squeezing yourself deeper and deeper into the ancient heart of Dadulay with no certainty that you will ever re-emerge. Then an opening appears, and with it a gust of wind and a hint of strange green light. It's almost exactly like the left cave. You squeeze through a narrow opening into a wider tunnel. Interesting, so it's almost like the same exact thing. The inside of this cave is lined with bright fluorescent streaks from some strange mineral in the wall. Okay, this is just like before. You pause a moment to look at the seams in the rock. Their pattern does not seem random, but more like characters in some language you do not recognize. We've been here before. Let's examine the walls. Looking closely at the walls here, you see a small patch of the fluorescent seam, but in the bright sunshine, it glows. It's glows lost. Okay, so let's see what magic options we have here. Okay. go back to... Okay. I remember that stone gave us an option to do something. So we found letters P-O-A, which I don't think is... It's not anything that's written in the book. It's like P and then A-O or P-O-A. Let's see where the... Okay, let's see. P-A-O or P-O-A. Okay. Let's see. Doesn't seem to reveal anything. Okay, interesting. I did cast some spells down here, but I think I did hot and let me see if DOP is an option. Nope. We don't have a sun jewel, do we? Maybe we need some kind of jewel. I don't think I can cast this without it. Let's see. Dud, that seems to be a spell for creating fake treasure? Let's see. Let's double check. Dud. By casting the spell, the caster can create an illusion of treasure. Gold pieces, silver coins, gems, and jewels can be created at will and used to distract, pay, or bribe creatures. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Keep going back into the magic zone. Sun won't work. We don't have a jewel. Even though it seems like that would make a lot of sense to illuminate the cave. We tried casting hot, but that didn't do anything. Let's just cast how, and then maybe we can turn around. Cast a spell and a clear, calm sense forms in your mind that tells you that the exit's right in front of you. Let's just leave the cave. Okay. Let's go onto the shore. Okay, let's approach the woman that's sewing. Okay, we're going to look for a way up the cliff. You turn and look back up the cliff. The height is dizzying. The top cuts a distant line against the sky like a frown. The woman laughs gently. If you were a bird, you would still become tired climbing so high. I feel like I'm almost inclined to just steal the boat. I need to get back to my journey. I need to get back to my journey, you tell her. Can you help me? I will, she replies. She runs the length of her woven belt between her fingers. I believe so, yes. The woman watches you with great patience. Please help me. To help you, I must ask you a question, she replies. Are you ready now to answer? I'll say no. Very well, then I will wait here a while longer. I'm almost inclined to jump into this boat. I know that they're going to lead me to drown in this beach. Let's see what our spirit animal has to say. Okay, it's not giving us the option to check it out. How far can I get on the boat? That's the real question. How far can I get on the boat if I steal this person's boat? I don't want to steal the boat. Okay. Let's ask them what they're doing here. Let's ask them what they're waiting for. Let's answer their question. Okay, so they asked us if we would take a path of danger or a path of cowardice earlier. I'm going to say I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question you tell her. That is not important, she says. Answer from your heart. Would you survive a coward or live in danger? Either will work, and she runs the belt between her fingers as she says this. But only one will suit. She waits for you to speak. So we technically did live in danger before, but we ended up dying on the cliffs. I mean, not giving me a lot of options here. I don't want to pick the way of the coward, but let's see where that leads us. And if this ends up not working, I'm sealing the boat on the next run. The way of the coward. I wish to survive above all. She nods, I see. The woman gathers up her loom under one arm and steps back into her boat. You have everything you need, she declares. Now you must simply leave this place and return to where you should be. The land of Daddy Lay is not meant to be lived in here. Let's ask him to take us on their boat. Take me to Car in your boat. The woman frowns, then laughs. But I'm not going to Car, she says. Where I'm going, Car is dust and ruin. Its stones turn to powder and its people to distant songs. I do not visit often. She's given me another hair. Again. You'll need this for your spell of returning. Okay. This person's... Let's examine the hair. Okay. Let's try magic. I mean, this is where we were before. Let's cast a spell. Same thing. Let's see. This might be like a one-way path. I'm probably just gonna jack the boat, I feel like. Probably gonna steal the boat on this next one, because obviously both ways didn't work. Did not work at all. In fact, I got the same thing happen. I still got the hair. Okay. Let's see. Let's cast a spell. There's nothing... Not really any spells we can do. Let's see. These won't work. P-O... Wait. P-A-O, maybe? No. Because we found an O. It's not giving us the option to do an A here. Found a P was the first letter. An A and an O is the second letter. I don't know. Let's see, we're probably gonna have to rewind this again. Let's just pick a random one. Okay. We know what, okay, so let's rewind just a beat here. See if we can take the boat. Okay. We're gonna approach the person working. Look for a way up the cliff. Okay, you turn and look back up the cliff. The height is dizzying. The top cuts a distant line against the sky like a frown. The woman laughs gently. If you were a bird, you would still become tired climbing so high. Let's see how much you're laughing when I steal your boat. If you can distract her, maybe you can run for the boat and escape over the sea. Perhaps even sail up the river to Car and cut short your journey. The woman is watching you. The woman is watching you. Oh, she murmurs. You would prefer the shortest way, was that right? The way of the coward. She waits for you to speak. I feel like it's probably packing heat. Packing some serious heat. Let's see. I don't know what you mean, the way of the coward. I'm gonna say the way of danger, because I'm about to jack your boat. Probably get myself into a tough situation here. It's gonna do the same thing. No, no. Okay, you're leaving me. She's leaving me to die again, just like that. Hold on. Let's get back to the shore. Okay. We're gonna approach them. Let's see. Look for a way up the cliff. Steal the boat. So I'm gonna say I don't know. So she's asking again. So we're looking at the boat. Probably gonna try to jack the boat. They're watching us. Probably knows I'm gonna steal the boat. I'm gonna say. I think I said the way of danger. I'm gonna say I don't know what you mean. Okay, hold on. Okay, they're doing the same thing. Let's see. Okay, I think okay, I think we're gonna approach him, and the only other option was just see what the thing with the option for the Wave the Coward is. Steal the boat. And now she's asking, she probably knows we're gonna try to take the boat, but see the Wave the Coward. Okay. Okay, so there seems to be no true option. I feel like I need probably some kind of sun jewel to even be down here. I'm gonna rewind to the cliff top. It seems like the options down here have like dead-ended me. So let's go back up to the path. Let's go to Cantopani. I feel like that might be a more resolute path. Otherwise, we're just totally we're just done. I'll do my best to follow. I mean, I literally tried like every route there, and it just seemed like a dead end. So we're probably missing something. Okay, another hour. So we just stepped out of the gate. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. Let's look out at the village. From the distance, it's hard to make out much about the town except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few penned animals are thin and wizened like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There's nothing here to protect. Yeah, we're going to Cantopani. Maybe I should have gone to Cantopani from the very beginning. Of course, if you were scared of a town like this and you could not hope to survive in Kakabat proper, you follow the path down into the town. The round huts are made of hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants, but then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. Let's look at them. He is 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has thick-set arms and thighs, and is half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. "Halt, stranger," he commands. "What business have you in Cantopani?" Okay. I don't want to buy equipment. I don't think I need equipment. Actually, let's see what equipment they have to offer. He grunts, but you can see that he is pleased. With the motion, he encourages you to follow, taking you through the village to a large hut. Okay, let's go to the storage house. Inside you find that the building is a storage house. The quartermaster, somewhat plumper than your guide, is seated at a table. Let's wait to be introduced. "This lady is here to do business," the villager explains. "Get out of here, Flea," the fat man replies, getting up from his seat to hustle the villager out. Then he turns to you with a smile and beckons you to sit. "Greetings, stranger," he purrs. "Shall I show you my wares?" Say, please. The man wags a finger. Wait here. He disappears for a moment in a side room. Let's search the room. I'm not just going to sit here and wait. While the man is out of sight, you quickly rifle the nearby shelves, but find nothing except for a small vial of potion. I'm just going to take it. You know, it's like I've really been trying to do everything right, but it's like everyone is just trying to off you. It doesn't matter, like, if you're just like chilling, you're like going through the cave, you got people who like can help you, but they're just willing to let you go, like in the worst situation. I think out here in Kakabad, people just end up having to kind of like fend for themselves. Can't be too generous can't be too generous out here. They're gonna take advantage of you. It's just gonna take it. Hopefully they don't see. Worst case scenario, we gotta, blast our way out of this out of this village. Okay. You pick up the vial. It is quite full and stoppered by an old cork, but there is no label to indicate what it might be. Let's place it in the bag. Okay, you slip it into your bag. The merchant returns carrying a large box. For you, he declares, moving his hands as he speaks, I see what kind of client you are. This collection, the very best, are most strange and interesting artifacts, collected from other travelers who have come this way. Probably gonna try to. They're probably already planning on blasting me. I feel like you can't just walk into into these villages. It seems like every time I show up somewhere, someone's trying to blast me. Every time. He begins to lay the items out in front of you, treating each with great care. You have 8 gold pieces to spend, but is there anything worth your while to buy in this place? Let's see what the jewel is. Because the jewel might help us in those caves down by the shoreline. You reach for the large jewel in the center of the box, but he stays your hand. Please, he says, it is too valuable to allow you to handle. 10 gold pieces. 10 gold pieces is a lot. More than you have in your pouch. Let's look closer at the jewel. You lower your eye to the table to peer more closely at the gem. It is clear, glassy, and its surface seems to be slightly sweating. Dragon's tears, the merchant says. You've never heard of such a thing before. Okay, this gives me... I feel like... Let's see, we can't sell anything. Let's see. Because we bought those 2 rations earlier. Let's try something here. Let's go... I am interested in picking up this jewel because I feel like this is probably something that we need. We can fast forward through this. Okay. I'm backing up to the gate. No, hold on. I need to go back a little bit further. I need to talk to the quartermaster. Okay. All right. Let's see. See, where do we talk to... Okay, so it happened here. Okay, let's greet them. We're going to take take the cash from the sergeant. Okay. And we're going to just backtrack in here a little bit. Let's grab the spellbook. Yep, let's take it. Okay. I'm inclined to buy rations, so let's take 2 rations. And let's okay, I guess we have to go to the training ground. Okay. See if we can just get this over with. Okay. Finish this one pretty quick. Not playing around. You don't understand. I've already been down by the cliffs. I've already been out there. Alright, let's open this door. Let's go by that jewel. They don't know what they don't know. They really don't know the bullshit that I've gotten myself into. Okay. Let's go through the gate. And we will go back to the village and grab that jewel. I want that sweaty jewel. Okay. Double check the spellbook real quick. I think sun was the spell. Requires a sun jewel. Oh, the sun jewel. Okay, got it. So maybe dragon tears probably don't work. Let's see. Jewel of gold. Okay, interesting. All right. But still, I'm still going back over there. Just want to go into the village. Okay. Got nothing but trouble going down, trying to avoid this place. So, let's see. What spells could we... So we're back in Kantapani, and we just got confronted by the stocky person with wiry red hair. Maybe there's some kind of spell we can cast here. Could be law. Law might be one to help us. Let's see. Law does casting the spell at a non-intelligent attacking creature allows the caster to take control of the attacker for a short time. The attack will cease and the creature will immediately come under the control of the caster. They're not necessarily attacking. Okay, let's just let's look at them. We're gonna buy some equipment. Okay, let's go back to the hut. To the storage house, I mean. Okay. Let's wait to be introduced. And... okay. Let's search the room. This is where we were before we got the vial. I'm gonna take the vial. Pick up the vial. It was quite full and stoppered by an old cork, but there's no label to indicate what it might be. Okay, we'll place it in the bag. So... let's see what the... we saw what the jewel was. Let's see what the musical pipe's all about. Pick a bamboo pipe off the table, carved with a split reed and 6 finger holes. What use is this? Are you selling off your infant toys? 3 gold pieces, the merchant says. I can't promise you that it has any magic, but it may well cheer you up at night. So there is a spell for the flute. Let's see. Requires bamboo flute. When cast, the recipient will get an uncontrollable urge to dance. The caster can make any creature dance merry jigs by playing a small bamboo flute, thereby exhausting a creature, providing time to escape. Okay. Let's see, let's put it back. Let's see what the, it would make a better gift for a child. You reply, replacing the pipe on the table. Merchant shrugs, but does not seem surprised. Please, the merchant says, something else today. You have 20 gold pieces to spend. Let's see what the weapon is. What weapons do you have? The merchant looks at you carefully, sizing up what kind of customer you are. The kind to place a newly bought dagger against his neck, or the kind to tip him for the quality of the blade. But you must see your honor shining through as he wags his finger once more, and then collects an axe and a fine broadsword from another corner of the shop. These are both treasures, as well as deadly weapons of war. I'm sure you will agree. Let's see what the broadsword's all about. You lift the broadsword. It has a ready weight, and the cutting edge is sharp. It has clearly been honed by a master craftsman. An exquisite blade, don't you think? The merchant grins. Only 6 gold pieces. Okay, let's see. Too much. Okay, you replace the broadsword on the tabletop. It is not the blade for me, you explain. Something else then, the merchant says. Let's see what the axe is all about. You lift the axe from the table. The head is carved with symbols. This is an axe with some kind of secret. 7 gold pieces, declares the merchant. Let's attempt to haggle them. The price is too high for this. You reply, I'll give you 5. The merchant looks uncomfortable, but eventually, with a glance around his large storehouse in this empty and visited village, he agrees. Very well, he says 5. But it is my children who will suffer for it. Okay, I think I'm going to take the jewel. You return the axe to him. I will not take it. The merchant appears to breathe a visible sigh of relief. Please, the merchant waves a hand. Keep looking. Take your time. Okay, the axe obviously has some kind of significance. Let's see what the leather bag's all about. You lift a bag from the table, and its contents rattle. Teeth, the merchant replies, showing his own a little. Finest creature teeth. Only 3 gold pieces. What kind of creature? What kind of creature, you ask? Goblins, giants, or mole rats? All sorts, the merchant replies. I couldn't tell you myself, I'm no expert, but there are 10 or 12 in there. For 3 gold pieces, well, it's a good price. See, I won't buy teeth without seeing them. It's the thing, because there's some spells you can cast that will actually bring some of these monsters to life. Let's just take the bag. You hand over the 3 gold coins and take the bag of teeth. The merchant nods, then begins to pack his box away once more. I must save something for my next customer, he replies with a smile. But perhaps you will return this way, and it will be you. You get to your feet and take your leave of the merchant. Just outside the doorway in the sunshine, you pause to examine what you have acquired. Let's look in the bag of teeth. The potion I have, I'm not going to mess around with that. You open the drawstring bag and sift through the contents. It is quite an assortment. There are 3 teeth from an ape, 4 from a goblin, 2 from a snatacat, and a large molar from a giant that is the size of a ripe plum. Let's move on out of the village. You head out of Cantapani and along the path into the Samatanti Hills. Okay, let's go past Cantapani. Striding past the outlying huts, you send the villagers rushing indoors to hide. Then, at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder, and at once 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other. So hand over your things. Come on. Hand over the backpack. We can try to reason with them, or we can deal with them. Let's try to reason with them first before we slice them up. I don't want any trouble, you declare. The first bandit edges forward, a sword tickling at your chest. Running you through? No trouble at all. The pack. Okay. We're going to defend ourselves. Draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. I would like to give you a moment to reconsider, because I will kill you if I have to. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand. Okay, let's try to cast a spell. Maybe we can do something to... I know we can defend ourselves. Let's see. I'm quick on the spells lately. I feel like the spells have a lot to offer. Let's get back. Ooh, the flute would have been good. Should have bought that flute. Should have bought the flute. Actually, we could go back and buy that flute. I like the teeth, though. I like the teeth that we bought. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we can use YOB to to summon a giant. Let's see if there's any other teeth spells. Acquire sand. There's also sap, which will demoralize an opponent so that his will to win is lost. Okay. Whoa. Ken, this is crazy. Some of these spells are pretty crazy. Let's see. Gale horn, yellow powder. We are outnumbered. May not be a bad call to bring to summon the giant. Let's see. Just gonna double check the there's not okay, so we can either do dumb or we can do YOB. Let's see. Let's cast a spell. Let's see YOB. Let's see if it gives us the option to pick Y. No. I've got the tooth. Okay, let's see. Sometimes you can just pick where it creates a force field. Force fields are probably not bad. Let's see. See what the L's do. Law. I don't think they're weak though. They could be. Let's see. Law might be another one. Okay. Let's try law. Law or oh, we can create goblins. No, I don't think G was an option. This illustration of the goblins is absolutely is incredible. Okay, okay, let's see. Taking my time with this. Which one did we just law could work? And let's see. Might do law. We'll see if law works. Otherwise, wall. Law or wall, I think, was an option. Visible. Oh, Foff. Foff, let's see. Cast a spell. Foff or law? I think we had options to pick Fs. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. Or law. And let's see something. Let's see how much stamina. They're both the same. Create a force field. Do I maybe I either take control of that guy or do I... Let's try law first. You cast a spell and wait for something to happen, and so do the bandits, but nothing changes. No, let's try the okay, let's deal with them. Let's try Foff. Okay, let's create the force field. You cast a spell, raising an invisible force field all around you. Try as they might, the bandits cannot harm you. They cannot even get close. Realizing the power of your sorcery, they quickly flee back to the village. This is a stroke of luck, as the force field does not last long. You continue along the path, leaving the village behind. About half an hour later, you reach the start of the climb into the hills proper and continue onwards. I'm cheating a little bit. I'll probably be a little more faithful to the choices going forward. Leaving Cantapani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond the tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Kar, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The Balklands and the long shadow cast by Mampang Fortress darken everything. Okay. Let's see. No time for reflection. Let's keep moving. But there's no time for reflection. You know the importance of your mission. Now it has begun. You must simply survive first and succeed second. You are well prepared as anyone could be. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. Okay. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Let's look to the right. Oh, we look to the left, okay. We'll look to the right next. You pause to consider the lower route. There is a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is a safer route, secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you were almost backtracking. Let's look to the right. It's hard to see how much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually, and you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand. Let's look around. You look around, then finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, callous feet are dangling down over your head, about to drop on you, perhaps. Let's ask who's there. Who's there, you call? The voice cries again, a little more boldly this time. Up here. Help, help, I can't get down. It is the voice of a feeble, wiry old man. Stepping back a little, you can see him clearly, as thin as sticks, and dressed in dirty rags. Let's see. Help him down. What are you hiding from? Or we can leave him. I'm going to ask him what he's hiding from. How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He must have been escaping someone fearsome to climb so high. What are you hiding from, you cry. Damned Elvins, he replies. I was traveling from Dumfus to the outpost settlement in Untitled, but I were waylaid by Elvins, robbed me blind, all but took my eyes, and left me up the tree. I keep getting older, you see. We all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down. Let's help him down. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree, you reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. Let's ask him what he will do now. Keep going for Untitled, he says. That's where I set off from. While back now. You wouldn't believe this story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out to Mampang and you'd better be smarter than I was. He presses a page into your hand. It is a page torn from a spellbook. This might be of some use to you. I found this. Just found it mined, and don't go asking how. But it's no good to me anymore. Let's take the page. The man falls quiet and squats down on the ground. With his jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. I'm going to leave the beehive. I feel like that's maybe a little too much action. You must move on. The light is fading already as the old man dashes off downhill towards Kentapani at a terrific pace. You consider your options. Alright, so let's see. I think I remember there being some witch in this house here by the crystal waterfall that asks about a man with a page. Let's I still want to take the high path. The high route seems the most secure. In a valley you can be easily observed from above and led astray, but out in the hills you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls it may be cold and exposed up on the slopes, but no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. The path winds upwards into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange-shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour's walk, you're starting to feel hungry. But stop and eat. We still got some rations. You clamber to the top of a low stone dolmen, then sit and pull out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat, while admiring the view down the hillside through a break in the trees. You feel better for your rest. Let's move on. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, in which you had been sitting to prevent any creatures getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues, with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold, and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full. When twilight is done, it will be bright once more. I say we can make camp. But to tire yourself out on the first day would be inauspicious. You settle down and make a camp for the night in a natural shelter provided by the roots of 3 gigantic intertwined trees. Your backpack will serve for a pillow and your cloak for a blanket. Before settling to sleep, you check through your pack. You have 1 meal's worth of rations left. Let's settle down to sleep. You lay yourself out on the ground and are quickly asleep. The moon is full and high in the sky when you next open your eyes. You feel warm and more cozy than you did before, as if wrapped in a gigantic blanket. There's a pain in your leg. Slowly, you realize what is happening. A gigantic bat has settled on your chest and is feeding on your leg. Okay. I'm heavy on the spells. There's definitely something we can cast to catch. Probably gonna try law again, considering that it's probably helps for something like for things like this. Let's try law. I just don't get a break. Let's try casting it. Let's see what spell options it gives us. Give me the W. Control non-intelligent creatures. Okay. Wow, okay. You complete the spell and the bat stiffens. It is responding to your mental commands. We'll just order it away. I was trying to sleep. I don't want to be by a dead bat body if I order it to attack itself. You direct it to fly away, and it dutifully takes the air and flies away. It's already got a drink from my leg anyway. The soft night returns without further incident, and you settle back down. Let's try to sleep. Once again, the crown fills your dreams. Only now, instead of being hidden away in Mampang Fortress by the Archmage, you see it on the head of the burly villager from Cantopani. Anyone can wear the crown, he declares to you, but wearing the crown, you are no longer just anyone. And then he points a finger at you that seems to crackle with energy, and you find yourself drawn towards him, commanded to do his bidding. You are walking towards a crack in the ground. It seems sure to swallow you whole. You stumble at its edge, about to fall. Wow. The second day of your journey begins in the morning cool. Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the ape, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analen, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death, but the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask for the spirit's aid using the pray button. Okay, we're going to walk on. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of a hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground, and atop each pole is a head. Okay, we're going to look at these heads. The heads are of all kinds and ages. Some are recently fixed, while others have decayed, and some are nothing but skulls and hair. There are human heads, goblin heads, and 1 or 2 heads of a creature you do not recognize. all have sewn up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. But ahead, the road forks left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right-hand path continues to climb, and the left-hand path winds down the side of the hill. I'm pretty sure it was the left. This village right here is what we're probably trying to avoid. But the mines also look pretty dangerous. I say this is probably a good point to take a break. It seems like the next choice is probably going to be pretty daunting. I'm not sure which one I plan on taking. I did a little bit of rewinding during this particular story, just because I thought the ending for the Sorcerer's Cave was ended a little too abruptly. So I'll do my best not to kind of break the suspense that much. Trying to do rewinds. I think just for the sake of driving the story, I wanted to kind of see what some of my options were, but going forward we can be a little more faithful to the path. I've been recording for about 2 hours now, so let's take a break. I'll come back and upload some more sorcery videos soon, and we'll kind of keep this we'll keep sorcery kind of on the as like a nice undercurrent for the channel. I think it's got a lot of narration, which I like reading. It sounds really good. It's very poetic. I really dig the spells too. I feel like there's a lot of interesting options to make. The game's really difficult. I mean, if this is anything like the books, it seems like, I mean, we just stepped out of the gate, and I mean, every choice can be your downfall, it seems like. So I still haven't even gotten to Car. So we'll have to just keep exploring this world. This is just part 1 of of the 4-part series, and we've only just started discovering the I mean, I was only just like outside the gates of Car at the last playthrough that I made, so, and I took an alternate path going up this way, more on the left side of the map. I seem to be going a little deeper towards the middle on this run, so I'm interested to see where this goes. So I hope you all had fun. I'll catch you all soon, and I appreciate you all for hanging out. Channel's almost at 300 subscribers, so I'll definitely be uploading a video on that pretty soon. So until then, take care of yourself, be safe, and I'll catch you later.